Hello, guys. Welcome to the Growth Podcast. My name is John Ige. Thank you for joining me on this series on masculinity, understanding the male gender. I decided to share this particular episode using the video content. The previous episode are on the audio content, and you can find it on anchor.fm slash the hyphen growth. Anchor.fm slash the hyphen growth. Okay, this episode is titled "Why Do Guys Behave Like This?" All right, why do you, as a male gender, why do you behave in certain ways? Maybe there are certain traits you've seen in yourself. Why is this happening? I'm going to give some answers that I think it's appropriate and may answer the question, and maybe you might not be satisfied with it. So wherever you are watching this, you can give your perspective to this in the comment box. All right, whether you're watching it on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you're watching it from, give maybe some behavioral traits that you think it's common with guys. So the first thing is, why do guys love to splay their legs? Why do guys love to splay their leg? On average, when you see a guy sitting, a guy does not sit with closed laps. All right, a guy will always sit splaying his leg. And some guys are so local in splaying their legs. They splay their legs, put their legs on chair, put their legs on table, just scatter everything anywhere anyhow. All right. So this is a behavioral pattern, but it has its link to biology. All right, it's actually biologically inspired. Now, in my previous episode, when I was talking about the biological nature of the guy, I said that this one of the male reproductive organ is called the scrotum. And I said the scrotum is intentionally positioned outside the body by God, because if the scrotum is inside the body, then the scrotum will suffocate. Or let me say the guy himself will suffocate. So, and the essence of the scrotum being outside the body is for the scrotum to be able to maintain a particular atmosphere, all right? Because the scrotum must be in a particular temperature. That means the scrotum should not suffocate with heat. All right. So ordinarily, the processes that is working in the guy is just scatter your leg. All right. Because putting his leg together, the society has taught the ladies to sit down, is just not going to be comfortable for the guy. The legs will be pinning him, and the scrotum itself will actually be suffocated. Let me use that word again. All right. Okay. The second thing is that, why do guys hardly change their sheets, bed sheets, their shirts? Compared to the ladies, you can see a guy wearing a boxers for 4 5 days, shirts for 2 3 days, 4 5 days. A week. Trousers, especially if it's a black trousers. I guess all guys will love black trousers. I too love black trousers, because black trousers, as the fruit of the spirit, the black trousers can suffer long. Right? Just dust it again, it will just keep shining. All right. So why is this actually like that? And for the black trousers, it's easier when a lady picks the black trousers. It's easier for the lady to say that, oh, this trouser is smelling. But the guy will put it in his nose and say, this thing is not smelling. All right. And this is actually because it's biologically configured. The lady or the female gender has a higher sense of smell compared to the guy. All right. So the lady can pick it off from a distance that, come on, this shoe, there's something smelling here. This shoe is smelling. But for the guy who puts it in his nose and say, this thing is smelling nice. All right. So the third one is that, why do guys always want to win? The sense of competition for a guy is so higher, and it's so higher than the girl. All right. It's so higher for the male gender than the female gender. So the guy is always willing to win. This is actually biologically constructed. But should I say it is more socioculturally constructed than biology? All right. But let me just talk about the biology part of it. This is because when there is competition on ground, there is an hormone I said in my biological series that is common, or is the concentration is high in the guy, and this hormone is called testosterone. All right. So when, just like an adrenaline, so when there is competition, the guy produces this hormone, right? And this hormone sponsor his ego. This hormone sponsor his willingness to go. Especially when it's concerning a lady. All right. If a guy is competing with another guy concerning a lady, wanting to please the lady, or maybe concerning his ego. All right, I mean, this hormone is just released, and the guy is just willing to just go for that, just wanting to win this particular thing. So I mean, it's more of biology, but the part where the society has contributed largely to this is because of the pressure that the society has actually put on the guy. All right, you must be this, you must be that, you must be this. So the guy is willing to go into dirty things, is willing to go into internet fraud, is willing to go into armed robbery and the likes. And this desire is actually sponsored by this hormone also. All right, the society has actually made it such that the guy is ready to go to any lengths to make money. The guy is ready to go to any lengths to please the girl. Prior to maybe sex, and prior to the girl saying yes. After the girl says yes, I mean the guy is just off it. All right. So number 4, why do guys dread the thought of dressing up? Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, compared to ladies can spend 3 hours dressing up. Maybe a guy is wants to get to a particular place by 8 o'clock, and 10 minutes to 8 o'clock is still on the bed, and just say, "Oh, it's now 10 minutes to 8 o'clock." By prime, enter the bedroom, come out. I mean, and by 8, the guy is just ready. I mean, and that's it. All right. So I mean, and that is because the guy thinks, an average guy thinks that dressing up is actually femininity. All right. I mean, they often say that why are you dressing up like a lady? All right. I mean, tètè múra náà, báwo lẹ ṣe múra bí obìnrin? All right. Just like, I mean, a lady will just spend time and the like. So I mean, it's actually because guys think that dressing up, making up, dressing, is actually femininity. All right, the fifth one, 5, is common to young male, especially the teenagers, and especially if you're watching when you're in secondary school, you are into this. They want to grow facial hair. You see this? You see this? You see this? I mean, and I started growing my own hair very, very early. I mean, I remember when I was in secondary school, I didn't do it, all right, because I wasn't that ambitious, right? So, but I remember some of my friends will use spirits. I don't know if the spirits actually work. All right, but they will use spirits. They will use spirits, rub it, and I don't know. And some of us that don't use spirits, we are just anointed with facial hair. All right, so but this is because the facial hair is like a form of security to the guy. All right, especially for guys that suffers from a low self-esteem. All right, so he feels comfortable in it. Now, it might not be that obvious to the guy, but okay. Now, let me use for example the guy that is in secondary school who is eager to have bets. All right, so it's actually, but by the time he has bets, he can now move around with our big boys. He feel he has a sense of belonging to a particular set of people when he has these bets all around him. All right, for some guys, it's actually part of the dress code. I mean, they hear like that. So when everything is just there, pam, 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 they now put their hats. I mean, it's actually part of the dress code. All right, so let's go to the 6th one. Why do men see other men as threats? Yes. Why do men see other men as threats? I mean, it's common everywhere, all right, and especially when a girl is involved. I mean, the threat is just I said something when I wanted to start this episode. I said this excluding guys that have intentionally trained themselves on this particular area, but on an average, the majority of guys you see them lacking in these things. All right, so men actually see other men, especially for guys they don't know. All right, for me personally, I also feel like that, especially when I see a guy moving towards me, moving at my back, and I'm pressing my phone. Come on now, I will just hold my phone very well. You know, we say, so I will just grab my phone very well because this man can just grab my phone and run away. Especially when I heard about a brother in my church who just highlighted from the bike, and someone just came to me, sorry bros, can I borrow your phone to make a call? And that was it. He just climbed the bike and ran away. All right. So and ran away. Okay. So I mean, hearing that story alone, I'll just say number one, anybody on the bike cannot borrow my phone. I mean, it's rare for you to see a girl do that. I mean, just take my phone. I mean, but for a guy, guys often see guys, strangers as threats. All right, whether in the fellowship, all right, when you see a guy moving close to another guy and a lady that you might not be crushing on that lady, but I mean, one way or the other, you are just feeling something for that lady. Yeah, I think that should be crush. Anyways, but the guy is just you just see that this guy you are a red flag, and you start feeling someone when you see the guy around the lady. So that is actually the point. All right. So the last one, the number seven. Okay, the seventh one is why do guys lose interest after a few weeks into a relationship? Come closer. Girls, sisters, you want to know, right? Move closer, move closer. Guys, you two, you want to know, right? Move closer, move closer. All right. Just like I said, I think on average, every guy is into this thing. All right. Except for those that have intentionally trained themselves, even married men. All right. Unfortunately, if you've not trained yourself, you will just discover that after few weeks into a relationship, love will just disappear. That is why you've heard it time and again that love is not enough for a relationship. There must be commitment. All right, that whether you are feeling that giz, you must just say, okay, I've decided that this is who I want to love. I mean, that is my decision. That is one of my podcasts. I spoke about 25 love lessons that you need to know. Number one that I mentioned is that love is a choice. I mean, there is somebody that said that love is a feeling to the lens, and I actually disproved it that love is not just a feeling. All right, that love is a choice that I choose to do this, and you must be able to stay by it. But now let's look at it. Why really do guys pull off from a relationship after a few weeks? Number one is because men are comfortable with what they have. All right, I mean, it's like an achievement, like you are doing a course and you already got the certificate. All right, let's put the certificate aside. Let's move on. What's the next thing online? So, and also because for guys, visions are funnel like. All right, like funnel. Where's my hand? Funnel. All right, visions are funnel like for guys. They achieve visions in hierarchy. So for some guys now, it is not time for relationship. So there is anything that is coming, it's not time. It's time to make money. All right. So the goal is just making money. All right. But when it is time for relationship, then they venture into it. So they can do anything for that lady when the lady is still. So they will woo her. They will buy things for her. They will do everything for her. But as soon as the lady says yes, and I mean everything starts, the commitment will begin to drop. Because for the guy in his end, he has already programmed it. I've already achieved this one. And that is why I've often said it to my young girls, to teenagers, to his sisters, that there is no point you allowing a guy to just mess up with you. All right, especially for guys that the end result is not marriage but to sleep with you. All right, because that point, that is just the goal. And as soon as the guy achieves the goal, now look at this story in the Bible. David's children. All right, as soon as the guy slept with the sister, I mean, that's just it. The Bible said the hatred he had was equivalent to the love he had in the beginning. All right, because guys, our orientation is just funnel like. Achieved it, bam, the next thing on point. So I mean, it boils down to the guy to start training himself and start saying, okay, yeah, this is my limitation, then I need to work on it. I need to be more committed. All right, that is why when it comes to the issue of unfaithfulness in marriage, the ladies have their part, but the ball of the game is on the guy's side. All right, it is easier for the guy to flinch compared to the lady. All right, is that taken? So I have said seven things about the behavioral patterns of guys. All right, in the next episode, I will be talking about how the guys think. All right, and maybe the next one I'll also be talking about the mental health of a guy. All right, thank you. See you soon.